That star-spangled banner yet wave. So I'm rocking a mustache-ish. I had to shave because I'm working in employments again. So gotta be respectable looking, but I kept the mustache because I want to. This is Scientific Enlightenment 21, and I have no idea what I'm going to talk about today. But it's spring, and so in previous videos I was showing you this, and it was like a little mountain of snow, and now there's little mountains of tulips. So I guess what we're going to talk about in Scientific Enlightenment 21 is how all living things have the same drives. So for something to be biologically considered alive and part of life, it has to, number one, want to stay alive. So living things want to stay alive, and that is one characteristic that they have. They want to keep living. All living things will ultimately make sure that they're alive. That next day, that next moment, they want to stay alive. That's number one. Number two is they know that they're going to die one day, so they want to have kids or reproduce. Cells kind of split up, and I think it's called mitosis, and they just kind of clone themselves. Humans find a mate, and then they have a child. Mammals do that. Some reptiles and other types of animals like lay eggs. There's different ways that we reproduce, but living things, for it to be considered alive, even a virus or bacteria or a cell or a plant or a tree, it's going to have some sort of way of passing down the torch to keep this ultimate relay race running. So that's number two. Number three is that they want to eat, or scientifically, they want to metabolize energy. So that just means that they need energy to keep living and to keep having kids and to keep the relay race going. So they're going to find a way to convert energy from their outside environment into fuel to keep them running. So we eat about 3 times a day, most people in privileged countries, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then snacks and so on. Plants use photosynthesis from the sun, and also energy and nutrients from the earth. Anyways, that's a drive of life. Living things want to eat. The fourth one is that they grow. So when you have energy and you're using it to stay alive and to have kids, you're also going to use it to grow. So in your life, if you eat the right food, you'll grow. Plants will grow if you give them the right energy and the right food. They're going to grow. So that's what living things do. The next thing that all living things, or that the thing needs to do to be considered alive, is adapt to its surroundings. So if I pick you up and throw you in buttfuck nowhere and you're stuck, you're going to find a way to adapt in your surroundings. You might have no friends, have no family, have no somehow contact anyone, but you will adapt to the situation you're in. Same with all living things. They adapt. You could say that they're aware of their surroundings. Even the most minute bug or cell will have an interaction with its surrounding environment, and if you take it and you move it somewhere else, it's going to adapt. So that's another thing that living things do. So I think we're at 5. So stay alive, have kids, eat, grow, adapt. I feel like I'm forgetting one. Oh, maintain homeostasis. So another thing that living things do is keep things running smoothly on the inside. Homeostasis is the idea of keeping your internal conditions constant. So if I throw you in an ice water pool or bath, your internal organs need to stay at a certain temperature, so your body is gonna do what it needs to do to deal with the cold external to keep the internal as constant as possible. So that's another drive that all living things have, is a governing of their internal system. Finally, the seventh drive is that they evolve. They get better through successive generations. There's a drive, there's some sort of thing ingrained in living things that makes them ultimately, at the end of the day, I would say the whole point of all this eating and growing and adapting and having kids and staying alive is so that we ultimately get better. You see that happening on a short term in our society. You see how racism is going away more and more every day. You see how women used to not be able to vote, how gay people used to not be able to even talk about who they love and what they want, and now, you know, gay people are getting married, women could vote, and a black man is president of the United States. So we definitely get better. And then obviously evolution is obviously real. So that leads you to ultimately understand, or, you know, if all living things are doing these things, we're probably all kind of the same thing. The thing that is inside the living thing that is driving the living thing to do these things, and the thing that ultimately was here way before you and is driving you to, like, you know, want to attract a mate so that you can continue this thing that is way bigger than you. That thing seems to, at least scientifically, be consistently the same in all other living things. So I think that it's waiting on us to acknowledge that, to then change how we operate on this one planet that's floating around the sun, to then hopefully, once we reach that planetary enlightenment, move forward to maybe meet other enlightened species that made it that far and realize that it's just us and fighting and killing each other over resources when it could very well be unlimited free energy waiting for us to tap into it. You know, it's just a foregone conclusion that we should just do that already. So that's Scientific Enlightenment 21. Hope to see you soon. Hope to meet someone that knows me from this vlog series one day, and then that'll be a milestone.